everyone. Okay, so I'm just going to read from Hebrews 10:19. For the purposes of this talk, we'll assume that the letter was written by Paul, but Pete can deal with me after the service. Okay, so I'm just going to go from verse 19. Therefore, brothers and sisters, since we have confidence to enter the most... lost my note. Since we have confidence to enter the most holy place by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way opened for us through the curtain, that is his body. And since we have a great priest over the house of God, let us draw near to God with a sincere heart and with the full assurance that faith brings. And a little bit further down it says, so do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. For in just a little while, he who is coming will come and will not delay. And by righteousness, one will live. By my righteous, one will live by faith, and I take no pleasure in the one who shrinks back. But we do not belong to those who shrink back and are destroyed, but to those who have faith and preserve their souls. I find this passage really interesting because Paul makes a direct link between remembering the body and blood of Jesus and remembering the confidence in God that we have and his promises. And then he makes the link between this confidence and endurance, so not giving up and holding on to our faith in the face of trials and trouble. And then finally, he makes the link between enduring in trials and entering into the promise of salvation. So the cross leads to confidence, and confidence leads to endurance. And endurance is what preserves our souls. This is a bit controversial, but in Christian circles, there's so much talk about whether or not we can lose our salvation and fall away. But I really believe it's possible. And I think that is what Hebrews points to in this passage. Jesus told us to take communion in remembrance of him. I don't think he would have done that if it wasn't possible to fall away and to forget him and to forget the assurances we have in him and the hope that we have in him, especially when the heat gets turned up. So I think it's really important that we take the time to think about the body and the blood of Jesus and to remember what the cross means for us personally, because that is what keeps us, that is what preserves us. And I like what Paul said, you have need of endurance. And I think we all have need of endurance. And yes, as we take communion, I just want us to remember the cross. I like this song that Ade sings sometimes in worship. We will not forget. We won't forget your promises. And the antidote to forgetting is remembering. And remembering is a verb, so something that we have to actively do. So let's take the time to do that and encourage ourselves. And if we're finding this difficult in our circumstances, let's ask God to help us.